Hey guys, gals, and MBs. I'm here today with the Erica Synths Nightverb. I bought this with my own money. I was super stoked about this when it was first unveiled because it's a reverb. It's from a company I knew about. I just never really was super interested in their stuff until this thing was announced. Yeah, I know the Zen delay exists, and a lot of people said, "Oh, I should try that out." Not really that interesting to me. This thing is, I'm glad I got it. That's all I can say. I've been playing with it all last night pretty much. I stayed up pretty late playing with it, and it has become my favorite ambient reverb. Not altogether reverb because this can't do like shimmer and it doesn't do the ensemble stuff that the Big Sky MX can do, but I am now putting a bunch of pedals on the market because this is just replacing so much stuff. The only pedals that I'm going to keep are my Strymon stuff because Strymon stuff just always has never let me down, I should say. It's never let me down. And my Chase Bliss stuff because that's just too unique. But yeah, and yeah, you're gonna hear it. I'm just super excited to like demo this because there's not that many good demos about it. There's only like one good demo, and then it's the Emily Hopkins video where this is used on a harp, but not too much like videos on where this excels, and that's beautiful ambient soundscapes. And I don't know many pedals that can really, or this is a desktop unit, but yeah. So it's a desktop unit. Let's get into that. It is 12 volt center positive on the power supply, so you have to be aware of that. It's not something good for your pedal board setup. It also has the inputs on the left and the outputs on the right, which is, perfect for a desktop setup where you're right-handed and things like that. And you're going to be using, and you're not going to be like holding a guitar. You know what I mean? So yeah, you have to be aware of that. And yeah, just it is different, but it is a gorgeous pedal, and it is built absolutely just phenomenally. I don't think, other than outside of the Chase Bliss stuff that I've owned and the Strymon stuff that I've owned, I've never felt a pedal or device this solid when it comes to effects processors. So at least that I've owned so far. I'm still looking at some boutique brands in the future that I want to try out, but yeah, Erica Synths definitely can make a good product. So yeah, let's kind of get into the cool stuff about it. So yeah, it looks gorgeous. I think it's one of the most gorgeous looking reverbs ever. The moth is super cool. I love moths and butterflies, so it's one of my favorite bugs. I don't like bugs in general, but moths and butterflies are fun. And you have the VU meters are these awesome like amber LEDs around it, and you'll see it in a minute. And since it's not really a pedal, you have buttons here and just everything. And you saw before there was a screensaver for the OLED. I turned that on and it's like starbursts and everything. And it's just, everything just feels so cool and looks so cool. All right, that out of the way. Let's hear how it sounds. I will have a demo, obviously, or if I always edit, or I've been editing a demo in the front of these videos, so you would have already heard what it sounds like. But let's really get into it. So I made a patch on this. I call it Dragon Tails. It's just a really long, like reverb tails, just long patch, and it sounds gorgeous. Let's use soft scales, which is a little plucked patch. I made a video on how to make this. It drives the filter like crazy to get this beautiful pluck sound. And yeah, so let's just... That's with nothing, no effects on this thing, just some pan spread. As far as I could tell, this thing actually keeps the pan spread in the reverb algorithm, which it's long delay lines, so yeah. And yeah, so let's hear that. So it kind of always has the reverb engine running. I don't know if that's going to be a problem for you, but when you see if I fill this up, you see this? This is actually the output of the reverb. The bypass just bypasses the output, and it lets only the dry through. So when we undo this, if I fill up the buffer, for instance, and I let go the bypass, you hear that. So that's just one thing to be aware of. It's a little different. It's easy to get used to. I'm fine with it. The sounds this thing makes just make up for any of its little shortcomings. I don't even think that's a shortcoming. That's just something you have to be aware of. So when you engage it, it's going to have what's ever in the buffer. That's just gorgeous. All right, well, let's put in a sequence here, shall we? I messed up that last part, but whatever. Let's hear that. And then I can play with the pedal instead of like playing. I guess I could play along, right? Yeah, so absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, so you can see you have quite a bit of controls on the front of it. And don't be too worried about that because there's not much menu diving. Even though this has a screen, it's not too menu diving. So you have your dampening controls, which let you attenuate the frequencies that these are for, so low frequencies and high frequencies to how long they ring out. You have bass and treble boost and cut for the wet signal going into the reverb portion, or that's what I hear it. You have early and late reflections. When you turn this to late, it sounds like the reflections are coming from far away, and obviously early, they're coming closer to you. You have shape, and shape controls basically how the early/late reflections are blended in with the reverberations, as far as I can tell. The spin is modulation, and some of the most beautiful modulation I've ever heard. Pre-delay is obviously pre-delay. You have gain and volume. One thing is, if this is set to 0, it kills the... right, so 0 dB isn't actually what you think it would be. It's more of like it cuts off the internal signal. I don't know if that's like a firmware bug or something, or if that's just a misnomer, but yeah, just be aware of that. You have to turn that up to get audio into the pedal, and then you have volume out. And as you see with the gain on this goes like to plus 24, so you can throw in a hot signal or put in a weak signal and make it a little hot, and yeah, it just takes it. And obviously you have wet dry mix. And then you have the size, the big ass knob on here, the size. It's super important. That changes the delay line, I think, lengths. And yeah, and then feedback is like your standard feedback. So, and stereo width. That's something you don't see on pedals. Or in this case, it's not a pedal, it's a desktop effects unit. So, yeah, we can go from basically mono, which, seriously, this is a stereo pedal and it excels at that, all the way to this beautiful, just wide stereo spread. So yeah, I guess let's just mess with it a little and see what we can do. So you can actually play the buffer if you freeze this with MIDI. I'm not going to show that off, but like it's like the night sky from Strymon, where you can use MIDI to control the freezed or the reverb lines, but the size control also pitches. So yeah, that obviously just lets you listen to the fact that this uses delay lines. Yeah, so absolutely gorgeous. And then feedback just gives you more feedback, so you can get, I think it's like it's 1,000 seconds, or I don't know how long it was. It said here in the manual with the feedback, yeah, it goes to up to 1,000 seconds of feedback. Basically, it doesn't self-oscillate as far as I can tell. I couldn't get it to self-oscillate. I never really turned it up for too long though. But yeah, think of this as the size and this is the decay, if you're thinking of it like in a standard reverb configuration. But yeah. Again, we have the early and late reflections. You can make it sound like a smaller reverb or big. I keep it about here. And then the shape blends that in. I keep it, yeah, 50-50 is nice on that. And then spin is a modulation source, or I think it modulates. They say, what does it say? It says something. It's kind of convoluted what they say with that. It controls the amount of turbulence in the reverb space. So I'm guessing it's just modulation, but it's beautiful modulation. Some of the best I've ever heard. can go fully wet too, and it sounds. I don't generally like these Big Sky MX or like the Strymon stuff to be fully wet, but this thing is gorgeous fully wet here. You get that beautiful vapor wave aesthetic, don't you? God, it's gorgeous. I played with this all night last night pretty much, and geez, I went to bed pretty late because of that. But yeah, now we have the dampening, obviously, so if we want to let it ring out for longer too with the higher frequencies, or we can get a more controlled reverb, which I like to do a little bit. And then obviously you have bass and treble, which is separate. That kind of shapes the sound going in, I think, into the reverb lines, so maybe it controls the overall reverb line. I think it's going into it, but yeah. Just keep it at 0 for right now. Let's do very little high dampening and low dampening so we can get just some really beautiful sounds. And then, yeah, let's go fully wet and listen to the spin. Very static, very stale sounding. Then we go way up. You get a lot of movement, and it is beautiful. Wrong note. Whoops. Yeah, just gorgeous. We're going to try some different patches with it. I'm just going to... Hold on. We're going to stop this. I'm going to do a quick thing here where you can just hear this setting and just for the opening, basically. You can just hear how beautiful that just sounds. I mean, yeah. So let's go to some other patches that I have here. Let's hear the Skyrim patch that I made. It's Skyrim Wimdy. It kind of has that Skyrim almost like brass sound that you get, you know, when you're just exploring without, you know, obviously instigating a fight or pickpocketing somebody in the wrong way and starting a fight that way. I've been playing Skyrim again, obviously. So I've had a lot of Skyrim on the mind, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Obviously, the soundtrack is one of the best out there, but yeah, so here, let's... Yeah, so, geez, absolutely gorgeous. What other sounds do I have in here that sound absolutely cool? I'm looking at my patch note guide here because I don't remember what these are all called. That's the another Skyrim one that's named after Master, which is one of the moons, and it's the red moon, so this one sounds cool too. All right, just to be clear, this is what it sounds like without the effects. Now with the effects. So absolutely gorgeous. I think I have some FM-esque patches here, like an 8 and 9. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of call this a dulcimer, but it still has too much of a Kodo vibe to it. Let's hear the Kodo, for instance. So. It's that tacky 80s style Kodo sound from an FM synth, but I adore it. Of course I do. And then I made a Kodo sound because I was trying to do the track from Skyrim called Secunda, which is the one of the other moons of the Skyrim area. But yeah, so here's the FM dulcimer. I guess it's more dulcimer-ish than it is Kodo-ish. Especially if you play it in a different key. Hold on. Let me bring it down. Oops. Man, I'm just all over the place today. Whoops. I think I'm kind of off-put by how I have my microphone in this setup right now, so I'm like trying to look at the key bed a little better. Because this has to be on the right side for the cables to work. Keep hitting that. Damn it. Anyway, you get the idea. Sorry for my bad playing there. I'm usually not that bad, but... yeah, so absolutely gorgeous sounding reverb, especially just with plucked patches and even pads. And one of the things they state here is they say they focused on the musical aspect of the effect, which is absolutely true, because this thing doesn't seem to get very overwhelmed in terms of it being pushed hot and long, where a lot of other reverb algorithms, especially like the black hole reverb, which is a beautiful reverb algorithm, but if you push way too much shit into that reverb algorithm and turn the feedback up way too much, it just starts sounding like this grating mess to sound, old reverb algorithm, but still. Yeah, this doesn't, even if you just crank the size. So let's go back to the soft scales patch. And we're going to turn up the size. And we're going to turn up the feedback. Give it a little more high dampening, a little low dampening. Well, that answers that. So that's not the input. That's actually the delay line treble. Okay, cool. Very long delayed lines, not muddy, just beautiful. And I love it. So, yeah, it is become my favorite ambient reverb. I mean, I have had it for a short period of time, but usually with reverb algorithms, at least for me, I know if it's a reverb algorithm I'm going to like, and if it's one I'm not. I had a H90 for a brief period of time. I sent it back. I did not like it. I liked the black hole algorithm. That was about it. And it's like I already have a .9 pedal, or at the time I had a .9 pedal, and I'm just like, well, that's fine. But the wormhole algorithm, I hated. It just sounded like garbage in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I didn't like that specific thing. I don't hear a lot of, I mean, it's an expensive pedal, that's maybe not, but I don't see a lot of people using it either. So yeah. And the biggest complaint about the H90, a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, their reverb algorithms just never held up. And I kind of agree. They just didn't. The black hole did, but you can get a $200 pedal that just does that. So why have it? And the delays kind of sucked on it, especially the tape emulation. The Volante is still like the goat when it comes to like the just in my opinion for DSP driven tape delay. I mean, obviously real like tape delay is going to be cooler and sound more official, but or real, because it is real. But yeah, that said, oh yeah, one other thing we want to get into this. So I put up a bunch of my reverb pedals that I just am not going to use after getting this. The Big Sky MX and this are staying. That's it when it comes to reverb pedals. I'm going to keep my Chase Bliss pedals and my Strymon pedals, and then this. And maybe I'll have some other pedals from some other boutique manufacturers in the future. Hint, hint. Hopefully. We'll see how that pans out. I'm not going to say who yet, but yeah, it's one that I've never done. So hopefully that'll not fall through. We'll see. And yeah, we have, oh yeah. So let's go back here, and I wanted to show the, dirty, because I said I'm getting rid of my Walrus audio stuff, all of my Walrus audio stuff. Not that I hate them at all. It's just like I don't use it all that often. My Meraki my Meraki pedal is awesome, but I have a Strymon Brig that Strymon gave to me, and I actually like the sound more on that. And then when it comes to lo-fi reverbs, which the Slower really handled, especially for lo-fi stereo reverbs, and it did a beautiful job. This does it too, but this does it in a weird way. So by default, the delay lines are supposed to mimic tape, as that's what I've been told, or what people have said about it. Now you can turn dirty on, and what dirty on does is now it emulates we'll listen to it in real time. It emulates Bucket Brigade. You can hear all that aliasing, and it can be very beautiful. Let's do that. And what you want to do is you want to dial that out with the with the treble. If you watch the Emily Hopkins video on this pedal, which is kind of one of the ones that really sold me to keep or wanting to buy this, besides it being interesting, just dial out the treble and it sounds gorgeous. Also, the size controls how much of the aliasing it is, so let's do less damping. Get about there. would just press the data button to go back into my original algorithm. It's subtle but beautiful. Gorgeous. Yeah, so my favorite ambient reverb, probably at this point. Can it replace the Big Sky MX? Absolutely not. Is it the same quality, especially when it comes to for algorithms like the cloud or something where you're using delay lines? Almost. The new cloud algorithm does have that ensemble mode, which makes it very unique. But God, this thing is gorgeous. It is, yeah. Anyway, selling my other reverb pedals, and then this, besides the Big Sky MX, and then obviously this one, and yeah, that's how much I like it. I'm actually putting, just yeah, I don't know how else to put it. It's like, I like this so much that I know there's just so many YouTube channels out there. I'm not saying there are some genuine ones where I think that people really like the gear. I will say that I like the gear. Obviously, if you've seen me use the gear for a long period of time, I absolutely like it. Like, look at the Take 5, for example. We have this going. But yeah, I think the Nightverb is going to be on the list of pedals or effects processor, since it's a desktop effects processor that I just keep because it's so gorgeous sounding. And there's not really anything much like it. I mean, yeah, it takes on that cloud style algorithm, but it's where it's just a long delay lines put together and, diffused and everything. But this thing just, geez, it is something different. And I mean that in the best way possible. And I think I said it in the beginning, but I'm going to just bring it up again. The build quality of this thing is absolutely phenomenal. This thing feels like, I know it's very expensive to begin with, but it feels like every bit of the money went into building a beautiful and well-built pedal. The buttons feel nice. The knobs are absolutely fantastic. No wobble whatsoever. The encoder, that is the best feeling encoder ever on a device I have right now. I mean, the encoder on the Big Sky MX feels okay. I don't think it has indents, and that's why I don't like it as much. It's super responsive, but it's super responsive on this. And yeah, also, the cool thing is here, I don't know if I had it in, because I've did multiple takes of this video because I just kept blabbing about it because I like it so much. But there's a screensaver, and I have it set to 30 minutes, but what we're going to do is we're going to turn it to 10 seconds. It doesn't actually seem to respect 10 seconds. It seems to be a little longer, but yeah, as we're going to play out on this, not play out on it, or I'm going to finish my thoughts on this thing. We can see the screensaver, and oh, there it goes. It's a cool screensaver. It's little star bursts, and that's cool to have, because you really don't need the screen when you're playing until you're changing a patch or something, and then you can just bring it back. So it's you just bring it back, and then that's cool. So you keep the OLED screen from burning out prematurely, but then again, OLED screens have pretty long longevity these days. I mean, not as much as an LCD, obviously, but yeah, I think it'll last long. So cool. Absolutely fantastic. The stereo spread is a really cool function too. I just keep it at 200%. And it's like keeping it at 11 just sounds really great. Yeah. So you'll be seeing this in a lot of other videos, I hope. I'm trying to dwindle down my pedal collection to only absolute pedals that I want to keep around and really use, not just to demo off. I'm kind of done doing the thing where I'm trying to just get into the YouTube space and say, hey, look at this new cool stuff. And I was super excited about that, but now I'm more excited about doing sound design and things like that. And just want to share with you my sound design thoughts and things like that. So I'm only going to get things that I really want to use myself and I'm not going to be pushing pushing so many videos on like, hey, this pedal sounds cool and things like that. I mean, I have nothing to gain from those videos anyway because I don't monetize it. I've barely gotten anything for free out of any of it, so like, what's the point? I'm kind of just doing it for myself. I mean, I always have been, but yeah, this thing just, wow. I'm just so happy with it, and if I can narrow down my collection and not have so much just crap on hand to use, I shouldn't say crap. Most of my pedals are fantastic, but having so much stuff to wade through to figure out how to make music, to simplify it, like I've been really sticking with my Take 5 so much because it's just so versatile. My TO5 should be coming soon. I hope that comes soon. I've been bothering my new sales guy over at Sweetwater. I guess my old sales guy quit because I'm so annoying or something like that. No, I don't think that was actually the case, but yeah. Yeah, I'm just rambling at this point. Excellent pedal. You'll see it in a lot of future videos, especially when I do ambient stuff. I think it is the best sounding purely ambient pedal at this point. Not utility pedal. The Big Sky MX still does better utility stuff, especially with pitch shifting and things like that. And it also does very good ambient, but ambient in general, the Nightverb is where it's at. And we'll do a comparison. I should do a comparison, Nightverb against the Big Sky MX. All right, that said, this video is long enough. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. I'll make some more videos on this. Maybe I'll do some patch design. I still need to do patch design videos with the Big Sky MX, and the Nightverb is going to be another one where I do some patch design. I kind of went over how I do things on it, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you like my content, go ahead and subscribe. Bye.